Finland officially joins NATO. NATO gives Finland protection, but what can a new member offer NATO? How did the Kremlin prepare to respond tactically and strategically to Finland's accession to NATO? In order for you to understand the story from the beginning, I will tell you. Let's go. Finland has become a member of NATO, completing a historic shift in security policy triggered by the Russian military operation in Ukraine. Finnish Foreign Minister Pekka Haavisto completed the accession process by handing an official document to U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken at NATO headquarters in Brussels, according to Reuters. With the receipt of this instrument of accession, we can now declare that Finland is the 31st member of NATO, Blinken said. This marks a major shift in the security landscape in northeastern Europe, adding about 1,300 kilometers, 830 miles, to the alliance's borders with Russia. The accession ends months of diplomatic hurdles and marks a turning point for the Scandinavian nation, which abandoned decades of neutrality when it announced its intention to join the alliance just over a year ago. Finland and Sweden reassessed their position after Russian President Vladimir Putin sent his forces into Ukraine in February 2022. However, Turkey continues to block Sweden's application. NATO follows an open-door policy, which means that any country can be invited to join the alliance. But under the accession rules, any member state can veto any new country from joining. Finnish President Sauli Niinistö said his country is now ready to join NATO after a unanimous vote in the Turkish parliament to approve Finland's accession to NATO last week. He also said all 30 NATO members have now ratified Finland's membership. I would like to thank each and every one of them for their trust and support. Finland will be a strong, capable, and committed ally to the security of the alliance. The Finnish president added, "We look forward to welcoming Sweden to join us as soon as possible." NATO gives Finland protection, but what can a new member offer NATO? A strategic puzzle piece, a symbol of what Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg describes as a strengthening of the alliance. Finland is now the 31st member, the first enlargement of the bloc since Macedonia joined in 2020. Military and hardware-wise, the country doesn't offer the bloc a great deal immediately. Further down the line, however, there are significant contributions to be made. Geography aside, Finland's conscription-based reserves are just under 1 million. Its wartime strength is 280,000. Added to that, the country also has robust defense infrastructure and a comprehensive security strategy. For Finland, however, the umbrella of protection under NATO security is the prize. As Mr. Stoltenberg put it, the one for all for one mentality offers an ironclad security guarantee. It's a guarantee Finland has been striving for the past year since the invasion of Ukraine. The Kremlin has responded to Finland's new membership, unsurprisingly, with warnings of countermeasures. While Vladimir Putin will undoubtedly play to his people that this is NATO expanding, as a threat, the real test will be if and when forces and resources from other NATO members enter Finland. Leaders may have to now re-emphasize NATO as a purely defensive alliance, in an attempt to dampen tensions. What is clear is that the border with Finland is now a new frontier for NATO. How did the Kremlin prepare to respond tactically and strategically to Finland's accession to NATO? Moscow has accused NATO of threatening Russia's security and national interests by formally welcoming Finland to the alliance at a ceremony in Brussels later Tuesday. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters that Finland's accession is an exacerbation of the situation, referring to Moscow's allegations that the military alliance plans to encroach on Russia's borders. Finland shares an 800-mile, 1,300-kilometer, border with Russia, but NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg previously told reporters that the alliance's forces will only be stationed in Finland with the country's approval. Peskov warned that this step would force Moscow to take countermeasures to ensure our security, both tactically and strategically. He said that Moscow will continue to monitor the situation and deploy NATO infrastructure and NATO weapons on the territory of Finland, adding that we'll continue to monitor the situation and deploy NATO infrastructure and NATO weapons on the territory of Finland. Some text goes here. While Russia's premise of invading Ukraine was in part to prevent NATO expansion near its borders, Peskov rejected claims that Finland's accession, a direct response to the war, was a geopolitical defeat for Russian President Vladimir Putin, claiming that it was fundamentally different from the situation with Ukraine.